Hi, Mini Reviewer here, and today I'm going to be doing the triple superhero movie review that I've been planning to do for quite a while, but there's always been something else that I've wanted to do or something's come up. Well, at long last, here it is. Now, first of all in the review is Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 came out last year, so of course this isn't a should I go and watch it in the cinema kind of review. This is a should I buy it on DVD review. And to be honest, the answer to that question is maybe not. Well, let's just get started with the storyline. Now, the first two Spider-Man films I've liked because they've managed to have a good balance between the action fighting scenes and also the problems that Peter Parker faces and his romance with Mary Jane. Now, first two films, great. Third film, oh dear. Now, the main problem with this film is it tries to do too much. Now, usually in a superhero film, you have the superhero, obviously, and perhaps one or two villains, usually taking up about maybe a short one at the start, and then the longer main villain, or about half and half. This film has three. Unfortunately, it's not none of them are from previous films, so all three of them have their own origin story mixed into this. So you've got three supervillains, an origin story. You also have Spider-Man's romance with Mary Jane. That's quite a lot, really. And that's not all. You also have linking into the Sandman, the death of Ben Parker linked in. And also it's trying to end the series, so you're going to have a conclusion. And it just leads to a big mess, of course. None of the super villains really get enough screen time. I mean, Venom, who's quite a big villain from the series, he's just hardly in it at all. He comes into it in like the last half an hour of the film and only has one fight with Spider-Man. The Sandman, now he's arguably the film's main villain. He's quite consistent. He gets a quite good origin story, but there needs to be a bit more background and maybe one or two more fights, because there's 3 fights with him, which is pretty good for one villain, but the first 2 are very short, and in the last one it's a joint fight, and he doesn't really get much screen time in that. And finally there's the second Green Goblin, who is Harry Osborn, of course. But the trouble is, you have Harry Osborn's fall to the dark side, as well as Peter Parker's fall to the dark side when he discovers the symbionite, which transforms itself into a black suit, which affects his personality. Now, if you just had Venom and the next Green Goblin, so you have both of their falls to the dark side, as it is, now that would make for a pretty good film, because you can draw parallels between the two characters. But in this, you've got sort of Harry going bad at the start of the film, then he's good in the middle, and then he's bad at the end, whilst you have Peter Parker, good in the start, bad in the middle, good at the end. And, you know, I just get fed up with it, really. It's got so much going on, and it's a waste. I mean, it's 2.5 hours long. I mean, why didn't they just split it into 2 films? Lots of films make a For the Money sequel. This isn't a For the Money sequel. This is like they're trying to kill the series in one fell swoop. There's so much drama, it's so boring at times. I mean, in the entire 2.5 hour film, I've worked out there's 5 fight scenes. 5. And none of them are really more than 5 minutes long. So, if you just work that out, that's 25 minutes out of a 2.5 hour film devoted to the actual action. And that's my other biggest problem. The film's called Spider-Man, right? And the person who suffers the most from this miserable storyline is Spider-Man, because there isn't really much crime fighting. The only crime he fights are those 3 villains, and you see him get an award. But other than that, it's just Peter Parker dealing with his life, all the other super villains with their origin stories, and the whole Mary Jane situation. which to be quite honest, I don't like. Now I'm focusing an awful lot on the negative, but there are some positives to the film. I mean, the action sequences and the CGI is pretty good, and that's quite consistent with the other films. Some of the cinematography and shots look good, and the fight scenes are pretty well choreographed, but it's just the same that it's just a problem with the rubbish script and timeline. It just doesn't fit in. Now, that's going to get 2 out of 5 stars. I said it was a maybe not buy film, but over the course of the review, nah, don't buy it. It's not worth it. It's alright maybe if you want to rent it and you've got nothing else to watch, but I'd steer clear of it in the shops unless it's part of a trilogy box set. Unfortunately, YouTube does not allow me to upload a video longer than 10 minutes, so this triple review is going to be split into all 3 parts, which I know kind of defeats the purpose of having a triple review, but to see all 3 reviews up next to each other, back to back in one long review, go to furythefilmfan.ning.com, where you can find all of my videos with trailers and pictures, and this triple review will actually be a triple review. Now that was the end of part 1. Part 2 coming up very shortly.